As you come down into the nerd cave, first thing you're gonna see are my miniatures. When I first started making miniatures from Reaper, basically for D&D, I bought one of these cabinets from IKEA, and they still sell them, I think, but stock, it comes only with every other shelf, and so I use these sort of binder clips and these wooden dowels that I just spray paint with silver and stick them through there so that I have supports for extra shelves. So I'm just adding double number of shelves works super well for my miniatures case, and over time I needed more space, but these first ones that I painted are still some of my favorite. I think this is one of my most favorite miniatures. I think she looks awesome. It's a really well done miniature. And since Reaper has come out with their Bones line, I am like super impressed with how high quality their Bones miniatures are. This is a tiefling, and you can't really tell that much of a difference between this and the metal figures. Here's another Bones one versus these metal ones. So I'm super impressed with that. It makes miniatures really cheap. And here are some of mine. Probably the first dungeon crawl that I got was Descent, so I bought all the expansions of Descent, and here are all the miniatures for Descent sprinkled in with some of my D&D miniatures. And here's something, game, Battlelore First Edition. I painted both armies, and I think I've played only 3 games of it. Not because I don't like the game, but because it's really hard for me to play 2-player games only, because my game group, there's 5 of us. This is Shadows of Brimstone. I'm waiting for the second wave of miniatures to come in. We really like that game as well. But as I was running out of space for my miniatures, I ended up investing in more IKEA shelves. These are, I think, the Billy line of bookshelves, and this is where I stock most of my games, in these shelves. But also I took out the stock shelves and put in glass ones that you can buy. I think they're $10 each. And here in this side I have most of my sci-fi related miniatures. This is for Eclipse. I found on Board Game Geek someone who made these custom ships, so I ordered those and made those for my Eclipse game. And here's a couple of more. This is Mantic's Dead Zone, which is currently my favorite tabletop war game system. It's simple enough and yet deep enough that I really like it a lot. This is Dust Tactics, which I've only played twice. These are just miniatures that I bought because they were on sale, on clearance, and I think they look cool, but I've never used them in gameplay. And this is, of course, Space Hulk, and some more Reaper bone miniatures that I use for level 7. But I've spent the most time painting these guys. Each one of these guys took me 6 hours to paint, so I've spent the most time in painting those. And then what you see that I'm sitting on is Her Starts molds, and I'll do a whole dedicated video talking about making Her Starts, using Her Starts molds. And then this is my Star Wars miniatures. I love that game. Super simple, really fun to play. And I think the pre-painted miniatures are really, really good. I think they did a great job with the paint job, so it's nice to have a miniatures game where you don't have to paint the miniatures. This is Mars Attacks, super fun game based on Dead Zone. And then of course Imperial Assault, which actually I don't play that much. And then down here is storage for other games. And then I recently put in more shelves here, and up here I have Crossmaster figures, and I recently got a bunch of those because those two were also on sale for a really good price. And that's a fun game. And then these are sort of more war games, tabletop war gaming. So you have War Mahords here. I have a couple factions. And then Kings of War. I painted those miniatures, although I don't like the rule set very much, so I actually use a different rule set, just using those miniatures. And then this, I don't remember the name of it offhand, but I've actually never played that game yet either. And then finally, my current favorite game is Kingdom Death. So I am slowly working through painting up all of these miniatures. Here's the bad guys. And I'm going through 2 campaigns right now. Totally love that game, and I'll do a review later on with that. So those are the shelves. Last night we I had a D&D session, and going through Princes of the Apocalypse. But I want to show you something that I made. Last summer I spent a bunch of time making these custom monster cards, typing it all in, and they all fit in this binder here, all of the monsters. I pulled up the images online and then used the stat blocks from the monster manual, and after 2 months worth of work I completed this and then posted it online so that other D&Ders can use that as a resource. Wasn't even charging them, and it got pulled off just because of copyright stuff. So if anyone from Wizards is seeing this video, if you could grant me permission to post this super helpful file so that other people can use it, I think it will actually stimulate more purchases, since I don't have the epic monsters included, so people will buy the monster manual anyway. So I wish I could share this resource. It's awesome as DM, being able to pull out those cards when you need them, but right now not allowed to share it. So there's our TV and video games, although my kids and I don't really play a lot of video games anymore, since so much of it is online. And so here I set up some computers to play League of Legends. So my 15-year-old son has been playing League for the last couple of years. He started when he was 12. He's way better at it than I am. And he has friends over every once in a while, and they all play League together. And my younger daughters who don't play League, they mostly just watch YouTube on their computers. Oh, this wall over here, this thing is a map that I blew up for Road to Legend, Descent, which we've played through a couple campaigns, and I wanted a magnetic board that we could all see. And so this is just a sheet of metal behind here, and these are just magnets that we can move along the world map for Road to Legend. And then these are mostly my son's Legos. He's collected mostly Star Wars Legos over the years. I think this set is super awesome, with the Rancor and Jabba the Hutt. As you can see, we have a couple of books on our bookshelves, but I do really like these Billy bookshelves from IKEA. They're really affordable and work well for us. So that's sort of the place where we hang out. This place is sort of the more dungeony spot because it's unfinished. And this is actually my home office, which seconded as a painting station for my miniatures. And for a long time I would just use this spot to work as well as assemble and paint miniatures, but I ended up making a dedicated station for painting my miniatures. And so it's been great not having to pull out my paints every single time I want to paint a miniature. Currently I'm working on Kingdom Death minis. And one of the things I've learned to do through my Hearst Arts hobby is make my own molds. So I made this custom mold to create more of these face inserts for Kingdom Death miniatures. So this is really fun for me. I really like painting miniatures, putting them together. So Kingdom Death is perfect, a perfect game for me. I started off using just these cheap craft bottles that are like $1 each. My initial miniatures, the Reaper ones that I showed you on that first shelf out there, all of those were painted just using these cheap craft paints. And then later on, as I started painting more and more, I invested in these Reaper miniature. I don't remember what line this is, but I don't even think they make this anymore, this kind. I think all of theirs currently is this version of the Master Series paint version. But yeah, if you're just starting to paint miniatures, this super cheap stuff is the way to go. I've never even finished a bottle except for the black and the white. In this corner, I have my casting station. I'm sure some of you might recognize who that is with my cosplay stuff. But primarily I use this for Her Starts casting, which Her Starts, if you don't know, sells these molds where you pour plaster into them. That makes these kind of bricks. This is a dehydrator, how I dry all of them. And it produces, you glue them together to produce terrain for miniatures gaming. And I'll show you more of the results of that in a different video. But this is my station here. I was spending so much time doing that, and I installed a sink down here. I found this awesome stuff at Home Depot where you can just plug into existing lines fairly easily. I don't really know anything about plumbing, but this stuff is really cheap, super easy to tap into your existing lines. Was able to do that, saved myself a couple $100 from having a plumber coming out and doing that for me. I stuck a sink in there, which is really handy as I do that. Also, here's my Mandalorian mask, the master that I made a mold out of to mass produce those. And here is a shelf with all of my building blocks, the casts that I make. And I built a little cubby. We call it the Harry Potter room under the stairs that she likes to retreat back into. Oh, and one thing I didn't show you back in this room, some of my cosplay stuff. So those are the Mandalorian masks that I mass produced. Each one of my family members wore one. And my youngest daughter, who's 8 now, but she loves to do cosplay at conventions with me. Super cute, and I'll show you a picture of what she looks like with the Hello Kitty Mandalorian mask. And then over there is my Judge Dredd mask. A couple of comments to make about the Nerd Cave. I know that as many of you are looking at this video, you're saying, wow, I don't have the money to buy all that furniture, to make things that way. And I just want to encourage you by saying that this is stuff that I've amassed over a period of 10 years. So recognize that I first started off with just that glass miniatures case, and slowly over time I added to it as my collection got bigger. And recognize that even the shelves that you see behind me, I bought just one shelf at a time, and each one was less than $100. And then later on I added doors to them. The doors are a little bit pricier. They cost almost as much as the shelf itself, but it's a nice addition, especially having miniatures behind doors is helpful, especially when you have little ones in the house. And to recognize that a lot of the hobbies that you see with miniatures, with gaming, nerdcraft, with cosplay, I have some discretionary money. We don't make a ton of money, but the money that I do make, I invest in this hobby. Particularly because I really like and enjoy the artistic side of nerdiness. I was an art major, a biology major in college, and this is where I found a niche to express my artistic side, especially painting miniatures or making terrain for various games. In fact, there's a lot of games that I have where I've painted all of the miniatures but have only played maybe a couple or a handful of games. I'm perfectly fine with that. I enjoy painting and assembling miniatures as much, sometimes if not more, than gaming. But having a place like this, having dedicated workspace has really been helpful for me. I can just dive right into a project, spend a couple hours doing that, and then walk away from it without having to tear down everything and clean up. So it's worked out super well, and it's been a great hobby to involve my kids in. I have a 15-year-old son, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old daughter, and throughout the last couple of years they've really been a part of having fun down here, playing games, not only with me but with their friends too. And I have a lot of friends that are non-gamers, non-nerds. My wife and her set of friends are less nerdy or geeky. My wife is woefully mainstream and was popular in high school, unlike myself. So, but they enjoy playing games. They really like and think it's cool to be able to walk down here and play a quick game. So I've really enjoyed investing in this hobby, and if you're intimidated by what you see, definitely take your time, realize that over time that you can build something cool like this. There's a ton of ideas out there. I've seen other people's game spaces, and you can make searches online. If there's anything that you've seen that you want me to make a further detailed video, go ahead and comment below, and I would be happy to do that. I do intend on making a video talking about Her Start's mold making or casting and making terrain. But if there's anything else, go ahead and comment below. Thanks for watching.